My name is Chad Nakagawa. I'm a vice principal at Hilo Intermediate School. I've been playing Taiko for 32 years for a group called Taishoji Taiko, which I am the group leader for. And I am also a assistant instructor at the Hilo High Taiko group. Taiko is the Japanese word for drum, or like traditional drumming. But Taiko is a traditional Japanese art that is slowly spreading throughout the world, gaining popularity in pretty much every single continent. There are Taiko groups who play. Yeah. They were primarily used in Shinto shrines, and the Taiko drums were used to communicate with the gods. And they believed that in order to communicate with the gods, you needed big instruments. And so that is why Taiko drums are big. And the way that we play Taiko drums is because in order to play big instruments, you need a nice wide stance so that you don't hurt your back or something. But that is primarily, or the traditional reason as to why Taiko drums were made. In World War II, America was at war with Japan, and a lot of Japanese Americans were encouraged to not be Japanese and just be strictly American. And as a result, a lot of Japanese Americans lost their cultural identity. And Taiko served as a vehicle to kind of reclaim that cultural identity. I started to find that Taiko drumming not only was a way to let out stress or get exercise, but it was also a way to kind of express my own emotions and feelings. There's something about drumming that kind of connects us to this more primal part of our being. As we are all children in our parents' bellies, the first drum we really hear is our parents' heartbeat. And I think that is why people are so drawn to not only drumming in general, but into to Taiko drumming. So the key instruments in Taiko drumming is obviously the Taiko drums. So when Taiko drums are made, especially in Japan, what they'll do is they'll find a big tree, they'll chop that tree down, and using the hugest pieces of wood, they'll make what is called the odaiko, or the big drum. And then using the wood within that big piece of tree they'll carve a smaller drum, and they call that the chudaiko, or medium-sized drum. And then within that, they have the smallest drum, which is called the shimedaiko, or the drum that's used to kind of keep the bass beat of the songs. And then to kind of encapsulate all the other instruments, we have the narimono, or kind of like the side instruments. That can be the flutes, that can be little gongs. There's a endless amount of narimono that we use in Taiko drumming. So bon dances are a Japanese tradition where it is believed that our ancestors come down from the heavens, and they basically are here to spend time during this time called Bon season. And bon dances are a way for members of families to just spend time with their ancestors who have departed recently, or just have departed in general. The purpose of bon dances are to allow family members to spend time with their ancestors. Normally at a bon dance, it starts with a service, a Buddhist service, so that's normally called the Hatsubon. And that is when members of families will pay homage to members who have passed away recently. And then following the Hatsubon service, then that is when you would have the bon dance starting. And the bon dance pretty much has a yagura in the center, which is a tower, and they play music, and then people dance around the circle. Yeah. So the movements and the gestures that you see in certain bon dances, kind of like hula, kind of reflect kind of the basis of what the song is about. So bon dances, the way that they relate to Hawaii's history is that there's a good amount. At one point, the Hawaii's population was 75% Japanese. A lot of these Japanese came in waves. As we all know, the sugar plantations brought over Japanese immigrants, and with those immigrants coming over to Hawaii, they also brought not only like their food, but parts of their culture, and especially their religious practices and their music, encapsulate what the song is really about. Taiko primarily was used in Shinto shrines or in Buddhist shrines, and they were just used as part of like the services that they held there. But it was a man named Daihachi Oguchi. He was a jazz drummer in Japan, and in the 60s, he found a manuscript that had notation on it, drumming notation on it, and he was tasked with trying to bring that piece of music to life. And with his drumming, with his jazz background, what he created was a new kind of form of taiko drumming, which is called kumidaiko, or ensemble drumming. And it is ensemble drumming that we see here in America and all over the world today. And whenever people hear the word taiko, what they're really thinking about is kumidaiko, or ensemble drumming. So that has been the real biggest change over the last 50 to 60 years that we've seen in the taiko scene. I feel like it allows not only myself but others to really just connect with past loved ones. I mean, I always have that in the back of my mind, is that my grandparents are there, or my aunties or uncles are there, and I think that is the primary feeling for me when I'm participating in the dances, is that it is time for me to spend time with loved ones that are long gone. So the taiko scene has changed a lot in the past years. When I first started, taiko was a very splintered, I guess, art form, where different groups were very secretive with each other and didn't really share a lot. But in recent years, I would say in the past maybe 15 to 20 years, the taiko community has really changed, and now taiko really is about positivity, it's about acceptance, it's about creating things and opening up to everybody to play. In our group, we are really big on having open source songs. So whatever songs that we create, we give it out to the public. We post it on YouTube or on social media, and we basically say, like, this is for everybody to play. Anybody who wants to learn it can learn it. So there are actually groups in different countries that still play our songs, like in Buenos Aires. There's groups in Australia, Canada, and the last I've seen, somebody is playing one of our songs in a group in Slovenia too. So really, taiko has changed into a worldwide kind of art form, basically. The way that taiko influences my life is that it basically is my life. I live and breathe taiko. As I'm working at my school as a vice principal, I'm still thinking about playing taiko. When I'm at home, I'm constantly drumming on things. When I'm watching movies or listening to music, I'm constantly being inspired by certain movements or certain beats, and I always try to incorporate those things into my pieces that I compose, or any kind of drummings that we're gonna be doing, and any performances. So taiko is basically my life, yes.